Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony David James. I am your mentally exhausted co-host, Jimmy, and I'm here with...
Big T, Tony B.
Oof, he's coming in with that fire tonight. And...
physically, emotionally, spiritually exhaused, Dave.
Commiserations.
You guys are a bunch of dumbasses.
Dave is the Dave and I are on a plane. Tony, you were the emotional fun of this podcast. Now
I've always been the emotional fun of this podcast.
You can just sit over here and be like, that's a bummer, man.
Tony's on another plane of existence right now.
I'm really not. I'm just high. I'm high on life. Like I'm leaving for Nashville next week, and I'm mentally I'm in Nashville. I am at a honky tonk, drinking a beer and line dancing.
Drinking your favorite beer, Miller Lite. Fucking
are you high?
Busch Light. Busch Light for everybody.
Are you high for real too?
Light.
Yeah. Are you high for real too?
Wait, no.
He's high for Jesus, Dave.
That's true.
Marijuana is illegal in Tennessee.
That's right. Sorry, he's he's in Tennessee. He's mentally in Tennessee,
so he can't.
So he can't be mentally high.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna have to get street drugs again.
Ooh,
no!
Don't do that.
Beer, man. All right,
don't do that.
Get fucking arrested in
Molly?
goddamn
Molly in Tennessee.
No, I do not want to be. I'm gonna call you guys from a fucking Nashville holding cell.
You know we'd bail you out.
I know you would.
Oh, I would definitely come down to Nashville for you, buddy.
That road trip, Dave and I having to drive because we're not gonna fly because we gotta keep your bail money.
Of course.
So Dave and I driving to Nashville will be the best fucking.
Gonna be a gay old time.
Yeah.
Honestly,
just two good old boys coming down.
Yeah. Just get the friggin' CCR greatest hits album.
Absolutely. Once we roll up, we'll put on Ludacris's "Move, Bitch" as we blare it outside of the cop station, just so that they really know who's in business now.
Fucking Canadians.
Anyway, you want to talk about some movies?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we're going to do a little a modified best, my worst, because we got a lot of shit to talk about today.
We always do.
So what, we want to take one each, do a best, a man, a worst?
Yes,
cool.
We do.
Cool, we can do that.
Yes, I'm going to do best.
Oh, all right.
I'm kidding, you do best.
Call it an audible.
James just had the look in his eyes like, I thought we agreed that I was
Look
doing best.
up another movie.
But I want to do best.
Well, that'd be fine because then Dave would start, and then I would have time to look up another movie.
It's true.
No, we'd start from the bottom.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Now I'm worst. Oh God. Anyway.
Geez.
Oh God. Oh geez. Yeah, I will take best because on Monday this week I went and saw The Brutalist. Finally.
Yeah, you did.
Finally.
It's about time.
Yes. Well. Look, you two chuckleheads decided to go on my birthday.
I offered to pay.
Sure, yes.
I would have. I most certainly would have paid for you to go. The last two times we went to see 70mm movies on or around your birthday, I paid for it. I would do it again.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. One of those times was Hateful Eight, I think.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
And you just mentioned it, Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, that's right. Those were the.
We weren't invited to Hateful Eight because we already saw it.
That's right. You already saw it. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I went and saw The Brutalist. Finally.
I appreciate you texting us during the intermission.
That's the right thing to do.
Well,
that's the
right
thing to do.
And in the intermission.
That is the right thing to do.
I kept you apprised of the situation.
We were there spiritually with you.
Oh yes, and I needed that.
So I would have been if I didn't have to watch the kids. I most certainly would have gone a third time.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I went to the special screening that's happening here in Hamilton at the Playhouse because they have the only 35mm print in Canada of this film.
Woo woo!
So I did go watch it on film. They do have the digital version as well if you don't want to pay premium money to go see a movie. But
why would you?
What the fuck are you doing?
Why?
Go see it on film.
Yeah. If you have the opportunity to see it on film, go see it on film. If you don't, then sure, see a DCP.
but if you can, see it on film.
Yeah.
It was a bumping house, tons of folks there, and
that's great. I love hearing that.
Yeah, it started right on time. 7:00 lights went down, so got into the trailers and whatnot, and then we were off to the races, and it was stunning. Absolutely stunning, from like the wall of sound that it opens up with too, with the overture, and then throughout the soundtrack throughout is still sticking in my mind.
I love that first like 10 minutes soundtrack.
Yeah,
because that was all that was available on Spotify for a little bit, and I listened to that religiously for a bit.
Yeah,
and I put it on the one time. Tony's like, "What the fuck are we listening to?" I'm like, "That's the Brutalist, baby."
Yeah, and it's something else. And anyway, like the whole movie, like I mean, it's long. It is long.
It's certainly
a journey,
but it is a
journey.
True journey that is all about the destination. Like getting through that entire thing, you feel so many emotions through it. Adrian Brody's incredible in it. Guy Pearce.
Yep.
Jesus, what the hell? Like,
fucking all-star. It's about time he got nominated for a goddamn Oscar.
Seriously, like, oh my God, he's incredible in that movie. And then I can picture her face, but I'm blanking on her name. Felicity Jones. Incredible.
She's the heart of that movie.
Absolutely. She gives it all of its emotional core, even though like herself, she's not even in it for most of it.
Yeah, she doesn't show up till the second half.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So she's just nothing but a voice and letters for the most part. And wow, like an absolutely incredibly moving performances all around that really, really work. The whole thing that happens around when they go looking for marble, unexpected.
Right?
I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Kind of takes you like right out of it, and you're like, whoa, what the shit?
Fuck? Yeah, you're just kind of and then
I just love that he's like, where is this guy? He's like, he probably just stopped. He's just stopping for a cop.
Yeah,
give him a minute.
Yeah. That'd
be there.
Great. No notes. Anyway, like I don't know, like that movie is such a vibe too. You're just kind of letting it flow, and you're just watching this whole thing, and you're this man's passion project to build a building essentially, and like be commissioned and really bring his whole heart into a building. And the epilogue really sort of brings everything back together and brings it home of like what he was trying to accomplish and what he ultimately did end up accomplishing. And I was just floored. The film print was obviously pristine and immaculate. I had some issues, and so I'm not faulting the movie on this. I had some issues with the way that the audio mix was at the Playhouse. There was some bits that like the soundtrack was over top of the vocals and I couldn't hear some of the words. And then on top of that, some of it is in Hungarian as well. And the subtitle color that they used was yellow.
Yeah.
And so like particularly at the beginning when he arrives in America and like there's the sort of the upside down shot of the Statue of Liberty. Beautiful shot, but the problem is there's, she's reading out her letter and the letter needs to be translated into English and the subtitles are in yellow and the yellow blends directly into the color of the sky. And you're like, well, I have absolutely no idea what those last few sentences of the letter were, and I'm never going to find out because it only comes back in small pieces throughout the rest of the movie.
You mean you don't speak Hungarian?
No, and I can't read yellow on sky. So just some choices where I was like, you probably could have picked a different subtitle color instead of yellow. I get it because it works in some spots, but probably a simple like hard white or black outlined white or something that would have stood out a little bit more would have been better. But
I'll get Brady on the I'll get Brady Corvée on the phone.
You're buddies with him. You just call him up and be like, hey, look, bud, this is not working.
Yeah,
switch it.
Yeah,
change those prints. Get them back into the theaters.
My boy Jimmy didn't like it. Yeah. You got to change those subs.
Yeah, I missed things. But no, I mean, like those are small technical nitpicks that like it didn't detract from the overall movie. It was just like, oh, that's an odd choice. Overall, stunned by it. Stunned.
Needed more Alessandro Nivola.
It did. He was surprisingly not in it as much, but honestly, I kind of enjoyed that his character wasn't in it either. Like he was, like his character was great, and it served the exact purpose that I needed to. And he left when he needed to leave, essentially, and never came back, and I was okay with that.
He was there to push the plot along,
yeah, in a sense, but also to like build a little bit more character of
Brody.
Brody,
yeah.
Like the themes of the film and the themes of
Yeah, to continue to push it along. And it all comes kind of back together, right? Nobody wants...
Assimilation, that's the word I'm
Assimilation, yes. Assimilation from his part, and also the underlying anti-Semitism that, exists.
I was going to say,
exists, that continually ran, even though, the United States was an ally and, freed everybody and, helped win the war and all of that. There's... in everyday people, anti-Semitism still ruled the day, and even though these people fled persecution, they were persecuted in other ways. So the themes of this movie were incredible and thought-provoking in a lot of ways. Like I was driving home afterwards and just literally replaying the whole movie in my head and talking it out loud. I still haven't stopped thinking about it. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's an incredible achievement.
It's very definitely good. I watched 10 minutes of it in IMAX the other day.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to see what the print looked like.
Yeah.
And it filled up the screen pretty good. Like it didn't look too letterboxed.
Yeah.
Obviously it was, but it didn't look too letterboxed, and it still had all the flickers and all the imperfections. So I was like, oh, that's fun. You didn't even change it. You just left it the same.
Literally put it on digital. Like took the print, ran it through, and scanned it into digital, and that's nice.
Yeah, but you had mentioned the subtitles the other day, and I was like, I don't remember if they were yellow. And then you're like, they were yellow, and I was like looking. I was like, yep, those are yellow. Yeah. Those are very yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, the masking was a little bit weird, but it is a taller movie than it is a wider movie, so it is an odd choice to run it on 35.
It's VistaVision.
Yes, the dead format of VistaVision.
Yes.
Back one time only.
Tony, do you know much about VistaVision? Isn't it supposed to be like 235 prints kind of on top of each other? Isn't that basically what it is? Like, it's not a proper 65 millimeter thing. It's like
a weird hybrid.
It's a weird hybrid, right? So that's why why it looks weird with just the one, because it's supposed to be two of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still cool though. It's still really cool, and it's really amazing that it's on. There's one print in Canada, and you got to see it.
Yeah, yep, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
But it's awesome that he was able to do this on like an extinct format, man. And that's like it's a thing of beauty. And I was telling Dave this when we saw it. It's like, say what you want about the movie, but he made a 3.5 hour epic for $10 million on an extinct format.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's shot beautifully. Like, it's one of the most beautiful movies.
It's so incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
are we going to get into the AI of it all or no?
I don't want to. No.
I don't mind briefly addressing it. It's touchy, but an interesting use of it in this case of not really overstepping, or it's a slippery slope is where I'll kind of leave it. But
well, we've had AI conversations before, so that's why I just wanted to kind of like bring it in.
It's a slippery slope
because we didn't, when we had seen it, they hadn't talked about it yet. Yeah. So now they're doing the fucking smear campaign.
Certainly not noticeable in any way, but also it's not like they wrote the whole movie with it or designed a visual like other films have done.
Yes.
This is quite literally, let's make sure this Hungarian is as correct as it can possibly be. Mm-hmm. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, some of the designs they designed them in AI and then they kind of reproduced them and rejigged them a little.
Sure.
Yeah, either way, they used it, but they didn't rely on it.
Yeah.
Like other films have.
Yeah. Anyway.
Different conversation for a different day. I know Tony got very upset when I mentioned it. I just thought we should definitely say something because it's in the news.
Don't disagree. Tony, give me a meh, buddy.
So, you guys are in for a treat.
Am I?
We're always in for
You're always in for a treat.
Tony's movie choices? Oof.
Buddy, like I said Madonna to fucking somebody today. He said something my job went sideways this morning. I was just like, Madonna. For my meh, I'm bringing back everyone's favorite segment. Movies that Tony remembers being good. And I got a juicy one today because I dusted out my faded ass DVD copy, flipper disc. Yeah. The one side's widescreen, the other side's full screen.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody fucking did watch full screen.
Throw that away.
You should have definitely watched it in full screen.
On my 4K TV.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you didn't upgrade to Superbit.
Fuck, I should have.
Man. I
could probably get it for like $5.
Probably.
I'm talking about one of my favorite movies of my childhood. The Big Hit.
Oh, okay.
This movie is
from your childhood.
From my childhood, I fucking worshipped.
He did watch this movie a lot.
Dave will attest that I fucking watched this movie religiously on TMN, on TBS, on any site that I could, and not site, and any channel that I could find it on.
I honestly don't think I've seen the whole movie in full.
Probably.
I don't think I've seen it.
I've seen it. I just don't think I've seen it in one sitting.
I literally begged my mom to buy it for me on DVD, and she's like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "It's my favorite movie," and she's like, "Tony, you're 10 years old."
Yeah, Tony, relax.
Yeah, calm down, Jodie Foster.
Calm down. This is the same kid that got Dude, Where's My Car on DVD.
This is true. Best movie of all time,
of course.
I just love that this is like your longest fucking Letterboxd review I've ever seen. I thought you'd already talked about this on the podcast, but it's because you put it on fucking Letterboxd.
Yeah. I put so much of my soul into that review, man.
And it's got 2 likes.
Thank you, Letterboxd. This movie is so incredibly absurd. Like, it's like a nice guy who explaining the plot out loud. It just like I want to just pound my head against the wall.
Sure,
like, you're so fucking stupid.
Sure.
Anyways, this nice guy who's also a hitman just doesn't want to make anybody like mad at him. Like, he just wants to please everybody.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets roped into this kidnapping, and then he falls in love with the kidnappee, and then the kidnappee is actually the goddaughter of his mafia boss, who's best friends with this triad boss who went bankrupt because he wanted to fund his $120 million movie, and it ended up flopping and bankrupt him.
Can we go back to the part where you said kidnappee? Hostage, Tony. It's a hostage.
No, kidnapper and kidnappee.
She's a hostage.
I don't see the problem.
Thank you, James. Anyway, so he falls in love with the hostage. The hostage is
you already explained it, yeah.
Right. And then he's best friends with Lou Diamond Phillips, who gives the most unhinged performance I've ever seen from Lou Diamond Phillips. He is the heart and soul of this movie, man. And what's his name? Dave, you love the guy. Bokeem.
Bokeem Woodbine? I love Bokeem. Friend of the podcast, Matt Layton, also loves Bokeem.
I love Bokeem too, but I cannot
love Bokeem.
I cannot keep a straight face when he says anything because it's just one-liner after one-liner. Basically, his character is this guy who discovers masturbation, and like he thinks masturbating is better than having sex with a woman.
Sure,
I shit you not. One of the lines is whacking it saves you that mad cream.
Love it.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't matter.
What did I said? Jacking it. Jacking it saves that mad cream. Anyways, the Hong Kong influence on this movie is all over the fucking place. Like Mark Wahlberg's doing like Cirque du Soleil acrobats while he's shooting
you forgot
guys.
to mention the fact that it's Marky Mark.
Yeah,
fucking Marky Mark.
Also, Marky Mark is the lead, and I did say that.
No, you didn't say who the lead was.
You sure didn't.
Sure didn't. Anyways, it's a Marky Mark movie.
Macky Mac.
Yeah. Anyways, the big hit.
Yeah.
Of course it's a Hong Kong. It's the middle of the 90s. Of course it is.
And it's directed by a Hong Kong action director too, so it makes sense. But this is basically
Is it Samo?
It's not Samo. But basically it is a Hong Kong action movie set in America. And it's wild. The action is some of the best. Some, I wouldn't say the best. They're very good action sequences, and it's high octane action, and just take your brain out of the story. The story doesn't make a lick of sense. There's a lot of motherfuckers.
Doesn't the ending fight scene occur in like a video store? Yeah, like a Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Because I vividly remember the ending.
Of course. But yeah. Say what you want about Marky Mark. Marky Mark's like okay, but
sure.
Like Lou Diamond Phillips.
It's Marky Mark in the 90s. He was not okay, Tony.
He existed.
He was something else. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But yeah, the big hit. To me, it's a meh. I wouldn't say it's high cinema.
Wow. Yeah. From everything that you said, I was really I thought I was penning it as a Citizen Kane.
Honestly, if it came out on 4K, I would just get it for nostalgia's sake.
Of course you would.
Well, I need to upgrade. The flipper disc is
the flipper disc is pretty bad.
It's time to go.
Although I think you should watch it on full screen just to see if it changes your. Maybe it'll bring back more nostalgia and you'll like it more.
No.
Was it anamorphic or non-anamorphic?
It looked weird. I'm not gonna lie.
So it was non-anamorphic.
It was like kind of stretched.
It was non-anamorphic.
The widescreen, yeah. But yeah,
whack.
The big hit, whack.
We'll give Vinegar Syndrome on the horn. Tell them that they need to do the big hit.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Get it. If we ever met Lou Diamond Phillips, that would be the one that I get him to sign.
God, he'd probably look at you and be like, "Are you fucked?
Cisco's the best character ever.
Are you fucked?
Like, I don't even remember this movie.
He remembers.
So I guess I'm doing worse then.
Yes.
Yep.
You're relegated.
Right. I'm relegated to worst. All right. Well, I guess this could be high worst, low meh.
Sure.
Like super low meh.
Low meh, high worst. Okay,
high worst.
Really threading the line between
we're threading the line. This was just a really disappointing movie.
On a scale of 1 to Crack House.
Well, it's better than Crack House, Tony. Most things are better than Crack House.
Yeah, I was going to say not much is worse than Crack House from what I gathered.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with the recent remake that they called Wolfman.
Oh, yes. This is Blumhouse, yeah?
Not the Wolfman, just
Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Yeah.
Wolfman.
I like that
Wolf Cop.
No,
Wolfman.
We'll come back to Wolf Cop.
Yeah, they dropped the. It's a bold. It's a bold.
And they put they put a space between the words.
Yeah. It's artistic.
So it's directed by Leigh Whannell.
Sure.
Hopefully, I'm saying his very Australian name properly. Who gave us the Invisible Man remake, which is straight fire,
which is actually very good,
straight fire, and he also did Upgrade, which is very, very good.
Yeah,
and he is the writer of Saw 1, 2, and 3, as well as Insidious 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And the best Insidious is
yeah. Like he has his horror bones. Yeah, if you don't know who this guy, if you don't know his name to hear it, you definitely know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's in Saw.
He's in Saw, yeah. He's the guy who's not Cary Elwes.
Yeah. He's the guy that Cary Elwes. He's the guy they leave for dead.
Yeah.
And he's also like one of the paranormal guys in Insidious.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of this to say,
Wolfman.
So it stars Chris Abbott.
Yes.
Who we will bring up again later.
Of course.
As well as Julia Garner.
Indeed.
From Ozark. Mm-hmm. And the failed Madonna movie.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna movie?
Yeah, she was going to direct it herself.
Her?
Madonna was going to direct it. She's going to write it and direct it herself. Oh, and she cast Julia Garner in it, of course, because she looks like Madonna did back then.
Yeah, of course.
Anyways, all this to say, so there's Chris Abbott is, I guess he's a stay-at-home writer, dad type guy, and in the past he kind of had, he had a shitty dad who brought him up in kind of the bush, and he was abusive, and there was this myth about some sort of wolf creature in the woods, so his dad wanted to protect him.
Okay.
So he kind of... What's the line they use? Something along the lines of they try to protect you, but they end up scarring you horribly.
Oh, okay.
So that's the theme that kind of runs through the movie. Yeah. So he finds out his dad's dead, and he has to go back to the property to kind of just clean it up and stuff. So they go, and they end up getting attacked by some sort of wolf creature,
right? Who
bites him, scratches him, does something to him, and slowly but surely he starts turning into the Wolfman.
Sure.
And I
feel like I've seen this movie.
You have, but it's a lot slower than you remember, and it's a lot more Brundlefly-esque.
Okay.
Than
it's a choice.
Than what you remember the Wolfman being, right?
Yeah, no, I was actually remembering that. What the fuck was that other movie that we watched recently with what's his nuts, Jon Snow?
The Beast Within or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they didn't have the budget for the
correct. But yeah. That's what I was. This I'm like. This is feeling.
It plays along those lines.
A slow burn.
It plays along those lines. So basically, it's all like one night type thing as he's slowly turning into the Wolfman. But they use it as a metaphor for illness, just degeneration type thing, because he's slowly degenerating. Like slowly, he's just not understanding words anymore.
Right, just like the Invisible Man was, all about domestic violence.
Yeah, so it's more and
gaslighting.
That's gaslighting. But that's why I was getting at Brundlefly, right? Because
okay.
that whole movie is he's slowly falling apart, right? This is truncated to like one night type thing, and it's just really boring.
No,
and it's drawn out, and the lighting sucks.
Oh shit!
It's
like
very
oppressively
much
dark.
It's oppressively dark. like sure, we can blame Cineplex as usual for shitty projection, but I think it didn't help. This movie was shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, they had to mask all the CGI. Probably
they did. It was cheaply made, which good on them for making it cheaply. And like when you finally see the makeup, it looks pretty good, but they don't really give you like clean shots of it versus An American Werewolf in London.
Oh yeah,
which was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which you saw everything and it looked amazing.
It knocks it out of the fucking park.
It knocks it out of the park and it looks better than this.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Which is oof.
Yeah.
But like Julia Garner just doesn't do much. Chris Abbott, he's fine.
Yeah.
Like I like him as an actor and I think he's a real up and comer who continues to like impress, but he just doesn't have a lot to work with here because mostly he just stops existing as a person. So he can't really do anything.
Yeah, it's a choice to like keep it all in one night. Like that is I don't like the whole point of like a werewolf story isn't just the transformation. It's, fucking shit up as a wolf man.
Yeah.
Like so just focusing it on one night and just the transformation, I get the
and
angle,
there's very few characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Like very, very few. It's just
it feels
it's
like
a
a COVID movie for some reason.
It's a swing. Yeah. Like it doesn't feel so much as a COVID movie as they wanted to like make a low budget like reimagining of this. They didn't want to just make the Wolfman again.
Sure.
It sounds like it was like almost like a haunted house movie. Like these guys are trapped with this guy who's
kind of very similar to that. Yeah. It's not haunted property because they go around because they're around the property quite a bit, and they're being stalked by the other wolf person, or wolf man who attacked him in the first place.
You could also say that it's like almost like a shark movie too, where it's like the guy's in the middle of the boat and they're being stalked by the prey, right?
That's
same idea.
Like it has its moments.
Yeah,
it just didn't really do anything for me. And when I saw it, this couple came in like 25 minutes into the movie, and then something horrifically gory happens.
Yeah.
With like 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And they just bailed.
Nice.
They came in late, super late, and then they bailed before it even ended.
Wow. Nice.
Like it was just I think disappointing. Because like we put Blumhouse on the pedestal for obvious reasons. But like they also have a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah.
But I was more expecting something along the lines of The Invisible Man, which I thought which rocked my socks. Yeah. And I really liked the take he had on that. So I can appreciate the swing.
Yeah.
It's just not a great swing.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to the next one he makes, which will just be, I guess, Mummy.
I guess. Well, they're doing a Mummy. They are doing another Mummy.
Great.
But for some reason, they're not doing a Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I hope they bring back Russell Crowe.
Are they?
No, fuck right off.
Do they have anything to do with The Bride, the Maggie Gyllenhaal one, or is that like its own thing?
I think it's its own thing. It might be. We'd have to look into it. I know GTT's Frankenstein is a Netflix movie.
Yeah,
nice.
They might. Yeah. I'm not sure. We'll have to look it up. Well, let's take that offline.
Of course. Yeah. Do you remember anything of the Benicio Wolfman?
That's why I was bringing up. That's why I was suggesting he didn't want to just do the Wolfman again because that's what they did with Benicio, which has amazing makeup,
of course,
and amazing transformation, but it's boring as shit, and nobody fucking likes it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to rewatch that movie for a while, because I remember it had boss makeup, but I remember it not being good.
No.
Yeah. Fair enough. Skip Wolfman.
Yes, Skip
It'll probably be on VOD tomorrow. Tomorrow would be 2 weeks, right?
You know what? I have
probably be Tuesday next week.
I have expected to show up next week.
It'll be Tuesday next week, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Cool. On the heels of that, you want to keep on keeping on down the spooky train?
Spooky.
Let's do it, Tony.
Yeah, let's get fucked up.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
Alright, my dude. What do you got for me for a Shudder?
Shudder. So I'm going to be sharing this Shudder Minute with my good pal Dave over there.
Ooh, you get to join in on one finally. That's nice. That's cute. That's
yes, sir.
Cute for you.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about?
Apparently, he was shocked I watched it.
Oh,
Very shocked.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the new film called Grafted.
Ooh, okay.
Which is being dubbed as The Substance Meets Mean Girls.
Uh-huh. And is it?
Yeah.
Vaguely?
Yeah. No,
Vaguely.
you know what? No, yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Vaguely.
Pretty much spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Not
it
so
feels
much,
like
not
a
so
lot of different things mixed together. Do you guys remember that movie Sissy that we saw?
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of reminded of that.
Yep.
Probably because
Also another Shudder title.
Probably because I believe that movie takes place in New Zealand, and this is New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah.
Obviously, there's something in the water in New Zealand. Heathers.
Sure.
But yeah, I can see why they would compare.
Basically, it's about a new student at a college or high school.
At a university.
Mm-hmm.
College.
Or college, whatever.
Anyways, they're at a university.
Post-secondary.
She is the daughter of a famous scientist who passed away during an experiment.
Right.
Gone horrifically wrong.
Right.
And she basically befriends a scientist who gets a grant to do an experiment, and she carries on her dad's work basically.
Sure.
And her dad's work was to skin graft.
Right.
Got it. She has a bad scar.
Sure.
So it was all about fixing the scar.
Sure.
He did too.
So it was like, I think it was like a condition,
scar.
like a condition kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking wild.
Oh, all right.
The body horror in it is it gets gnarly in some bits.
Sick.
And
it's pretty gross.
It's pretty gross.
Pretty gross.
Right.
I won't tell you what it reminded me of because it would ruin the ending.
Sure.
But the ending is pretty fucking gnarly. Like I literally said, "Oh,
gnarly,
gnarly." You know Sean Penn in Fast
Spicoli?
Times? Spicoli.
Yeah, Spicoli.
I Spicoli'd at the screen, man.
Nice.
See, I don't want to spoil it either. I thought it's basically like a debut feature for almost everybody in it.
Oh, okay.
And everybody does well. The effects are quite good.
Yeah.
It's super gross.
Right.
It's just, it gets really silly.
Oh.
And it gets to points where you're just like, yeah, I understand why it's being a little, it's playing along those horror lines where it has to do certain things.
Of course.
But
Movie's got a movie.
As Tony said. But then you're also like, but why didn't you just do this?
Right.
Like there's one glaring thing where it's like, you've already gone down a hole of what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
And this is the thing you're not willing to do.
Oh, interesting.
Why?
Interesting.
Why is this not what you're willing to do?
Huh.
And then it also does a very annoying thing that I hate. There's another big movie franchise that does a similar thing that plays along with this person, what they start doing. And it annoys me there too.
Okay.
And you're just like, okay, come on. Like you have this is stupid. Why are you not addressing the elephant where you need to fix these sort of things?
Right.
You can't just do it just because it's cheap.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest, it's one of those like random movies that we would see in Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
Like obscene, obscure movies where we just read the tagline and we're like, all right, yeah, let's fucking do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I was surprised by it. I was surprised I liked it. I liked it more than I was expecting, but also it wasn't the substance.
Sure.
Like
it wanted to be that.
It wanted
and
to be
the editing and the music was very substance-esque.
And the credit sequence too.
All that, and they ripped it from what's
Enter
that
the
fucking
Void.
Yeah, Enter the Void. I was gonna say Gaspar.
Yeah, definitely. It's a film. I'm not gonna lie.
It's worth for a body horror.
Yeah,
it's worth watching.
A low budget New Zealand body horror.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's most certainly worth watching. There's just stupid things that you're just like, okay, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So sometimes movies get a movie, and other times movies not movieing when it should.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would put it in the higher tier of Shudder movies we've watched.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
but not near the top. Just
no.
In the tier.
In the mix. It's in the mix.
It's in the mix.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
Right.
It's what for body horror fans. It's worth watching.
All right.
Body Melt was also New Zealand, wasn't it, or was it Australia?
I don't even know, Tony.
No,
I would
figure that out.
You know what? That part of the globe.
yeah. Most Fs.
Yeah.
Are we going to get into a
very heavy
another new segment?
Yes.
Another new segment. Let's get into some screeners.
It's screener time. The movie's not even out yet. You cannot watch it. We'll tell you if it's any good. Screener time.
That fucking jingle just warms my heart. Like it lives rent free in my brain. It's so good.
So good.
Probably the one that I'm most proud of.
That we get to use.
That we get to use.
I was like, we had no creative involvement in this.
He made it for us.
Yes, he did.
And when this show comes on, like that is the one where I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, I get you. I understand.
Yes,
it's his best work to date, and that's saying something because
definitely
New Blues is great, Shudder Minute is great, and
big shout out to Mr. Josh Fumo.
Yeah,
he is awesome.
So
let's go through this.
Why don't we start with the movies that don't have proper release dates yet?
Sure,
but are kind of playing here and there. They played in January. They're going to go to some other cities soon. Tony, why don't you tell me about Your Tomorrow, which is nominated for Best Canadian Documentary. Sorry, Rogers Best Canadian Documentary by the Toronto Film Critics Association, and it was at TIFF. Tell us about it.
Pretty simple premise.
Tony loves those.
I love it. Basically, it is a fly-in-the-wall documentary chronicling the last year of Ontario Place.
Oh, interesting.
From the point of view of the people going to Ontario Place and the workers as well.
Interesting. Like back when it was like a proper functioning
like their
park.
like the last year of it being open. Yeah,
got it. Yeah.
Before Mr. Doug Ford
decided to change
all over it.
Yeah. Oh man, not the Atlantis Banquet Hall.
I just want the Cinesphere back, guys. Come on.
There was this shot. There was like a long shot of these two people talking at the front of the Cinesphere, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, the Cinesphere was great. It was the best. Yeah. Anyway,
but yeah, that's really all there. That's it.
Cool.
That's all the movie is. You're
good,
there.
Bad? We like it.
It was interesting.
Okay.
It was interesting. It wasn't my favorite, but it was also interesting, and it was nice for that fly in the wall. Like there's no narration. There's no words on the screen that you have to read. We'll get into that later. It was just you're fly in the wall. You're just there for the journey, and it's literally just taking you from point A to point B, and you see these tender moments, these intimate moments, like what the park meant to some people. It brought up like nostalgic feeling of me, of like when the three of us went with our families to Ontario Place when we were kids. Yeah. There was like stock footage of like it being in the 90s, and I remember it vividly.
Yeah, me too.
When we went, and yeah, it's a crying shame that our premiere fucked it royally.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely if you're in the mood for some Canadian history, and especially Ontario history, Toronto history, I would say give it a watch. But yeah,
cool. Dope.
Mr. Jimmy, tell me about It's All Gonna Break.
Yeah, I have to be very specific with the way that I recommend or not recommend this movie.
What's it about?
It is a documentary chronicling the Toronto band Broken Social Scene's start, like how they got started as a band. Which, if you know anything about them, the way that they began, it's literally like a group of friends that just kept jamming together. And it kind of grew into like a movement, but huge names ended up, like big Canadian names ended up coming through there. So there was Feist started there.
Feist, my
God. Emily Haynes, who's the lead singer of Metric, got her start there, or was part of that band. Amy Milan, who was in Stars, was in Broken Social Scene. Like, it is the who's who of Canadian indie music at the time. It was started by Kevin Drew, Brandon Canning, and Charles, I can't remember his last name right now, Spanning, I think. And for me, like I to preface this, like I got into them as a band when I was in 2005. Like it was 2005. I was in high school. It was the exact right moment. I ended up, it's their second album is what hooked me. And then this chronicles their whole journey from the beginning, writing their first album, writing their second album, touring, fame, dealing with a band that had at its peak 20 members, and how to manage that when you're touring around the world. And it's all shot by their friend Stephen Chung, who is a cinematographer by trade. And so it's, you know, it's all footage from that time. So it was like the late 90s, early 2000s Toronto, in a house, recording music, playing shows at places that either exist or don't exist anymore. It was like Ted's Backyard, the Rivoli, the Horseshoe, like spots that still exist, spots that don't exist, Soundscapes, if you remember that record store. Chronicling that exact specific time.
I don't know why Sneaky D's just...
Sneaky D's is, yes. Chronicling that specific time for the startup of this band, and, you know, they're being like really super independent music artists and artistic in their own way. And because it's filmed by a cinematographer, he's being super experimental with the way that he's like filming shit. So like they're in a studio, and like he's set up like one of those, you know, those foldable mirrors that have like 3 panels, and like he's got one person in one mirror, one person in another, and one person in another, because he's just fucking around and like coming up with the most creative shots, because they were all just like, you know, in their 20s in Toronto, smoking a shitload of weed and writing music.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So there's like, it's interspersed now. Like that was all the footage from the 90s. It's got a lot of live concert footage throughout the 90s, late 90s, 2000s, mainly 2000s into the late 2000s when their popularity hit its peak. And interspersed in there, he's like gone back because he's still friends with all of these people. He's gone back and re-interviewed them. So, talking about them now, looking back on it and everything else. And it's a really great documentary, but it is a niche topic. It is not something that like you necessarily will immediately vibe with unless you understand or have any affiliation with Broken Social Scene musically at some point, because like there's really nothing general about it. It is very like, you could discover them for sure, and that way you can like learn their writing process and hear some of the songs, and maybe you've heard some of their songs but you don't know it's by them. But I for me as a fan already, I was like, this is everything. Like, this is wonderful to see sort of footage. I love band footage from the time and place that it was coming from. Like, I don't like concert footage now, but like a shot of them, like live footage of them writing, recording, tracking
the BTS, the behind the
all
scenes,
of it. Yeah,
like you're definitely going to eat that up. And I totally remember this band from high school. And I remember I didn't particularly listen to them, but I know friends who did and friends who friggin' worshipped these guys.
And they were huge in the Toronto music scene. They started the independent music scene in Toronto by a landslide. They were on Conan. They
all 20 of them.
They had a stripped down performance, but there's even shots. So they go to Mexico. They're following their world tour, but they go to Mexico, and like in Mexico when they played there, they didn't have, because they have like a brass section in their band, like trombone and trumpet and things like that. They didn't, like, those members of the band couldn't make it to those shows because they were busy with other musical projects, because they're all fucking super talented people. So they're in Mexico. They go down to like a central square and hire a mariachi band to come and play those parts for them for like the few songs, and have to like write out all the sheet music for these like Spanish trumpet and trombone players so that they can come get. It's fucking wild. But it all ends also with the 20th anniversary of their first album at a show at History in Toronto that I was at. And
that's cool.
It was
awesome.
When it came on, I was like, "Oh, fucking! I remember this show. I was at this show. I was standing right there, and I could point to myself in the crowd." And
did you see yourself?
I was deep enough that they had shots from the back. I knew where I was standing. I could tell you in this general vicinity of shadows is where I am. From the front, I'm too far back that you can't quite see me. But I remember that show vividly. It was only a few years ago, and it was very cool for it to end on that. But anyway, long story long, good documentary, good musical documentary, specifically scratched all of my niche interests. And
it's a niche movie.
It is, and
it's a documentary, of course.
It's a niche subject, but if you have any love for the independent music scene and broken social scene from the early 2000s, mid 2000s in Toronto, check it out. Done. Sorry, long-winded.
No. You,
I'm passionate.
You're passionate. You sold me on it, for sure. And hopefully people get a chance to see it.
I hope so.
Yes.
Good for Canada.
Hooray! We might as well stick with documentaries for now.
Sure.
And we'll go to a film that's in limited release right now and got nominated for Best Documentary Feature at the Academy Awards.
Ooh.
It's called Soundtrack to a Coup D'état.
Ooh. Coup D'état.
Yes, Coup D'état.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry. So I saw this film, and so did Tony. It's kind of like a visual essay.
Yeah, I would say so.
More along those lines. There's a lot of writing, or a lot of words on the screen.
A lot of reading required.
A lot of reading required.
Sometimes not enough time to read what's on the screen.
Okay.
So
I'm
it's a very
almost like a silent film, and like you have a paragraph to read or whatnot.
It's very much, when I say visual essay, it very much feels like here's the intro, and here are the paragraphs. Here's the extra, and here's the quote we need.
Right.
And then there's
a lot of like news articles.
Here's the footage to go with this quote.
Okay, got you.
It is about basically, I'm trying to think of how to say this properly. It's about the period of time in the cold, like kind of where the Cold War was starting up, where Africa was becoming its own, having all of its own independent nations, and the Congo specifically was kind of where all the attention was, because that's where the uranium is.
Yes.
And so there was a lot of conflict there with the leader.
Yeah.
And they were bringing in jazz musicians to kind of take pressure off of what all the back. They're like,
placate the crowds
with jazz while all of this is happening in the background.
Don't look over here.
Don't look here. Yeah, a lot of that, and it kind of hinges on is it the Prime Minister of the Congo? Is that who it is?
The leader.
The leader. He is assassinated.
Right.
His name, he's like Patrice Lumumba.
All right.
So it's kind of about his rise as the prime minister, the leader, and kind of the shit that was happening around him and all the conflict that was happening around him, and then his assassination, and then how some artists like kind of stormed the UN to kind of protest it.
Fair.
Because there's a lot of UN footage.
Okay.
They were trying to like brush it aside, and it's like you murdered our leader. It's like the justice needs to happen, kind of thing. It was just a very chaotic. It was a very chaotic time.
Yeah.
So it kind of starts with that, and then it goes back to Congo, the Congo becoming the Congo on its own as its own independent nation, and then kind of leads back up to that.
Got you. Yep.
So it's very much, and it's juxtaposing with all the jazz.
Yeah, with the jazz scene, and like how the jazz scene is like kind of like
taking off.
Louis Armstrong is a heavy focal point of this.
Okay.
And like other big jazz musicians from that time.
There's the one guy playing the trumpet who's like I don't know how he inflates.
Oh yeah,
so far out.
Like literally, it's insane, man.
It's insane.
I really like the style of this. Like there is a lot of reading, but I love how the music is so intercut with everything happening, and
Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And even the coloring, like I liked a lot of it. Was,
well, they recolored it and kind of restored it a lot.
And they restored it a lot, but it was a lot of blue. Like the blues were literally like popping off the screen, and I love that. Obviously, it was about jazz and the blues, so that tracks.
I need to check this movie out as well.
Definitely. I think you'd appreciate it.
Khrushchev's a big character.
Nikita Khrushchev. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. Like I wish there wasn't so much reading. I wish it was more visual, like you're just watching it happen instead of reading about it.
It's long though. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
All right, settle in.
It's a doozy. I had to watch it in 2 parts.
And I was getting kind of like caught up trying to explain it because there's just so much. It's not. It's not narrow.
Much. They throw so much at you, so it's like you're almost like it's like information overload kind of thing.
Is it lacking focus in that way?
It's not that it's lacking focus. It's just there's so much. It's it's dense.
Yeah, gotcha.
It is very dense. It is a well researched, well documented, well edited documentary.
Like they knew what they were telling, and they knew what they wanted to include.
Like they put it like. Everything's there. It's a lot to take in.
Okay.
And it's not even just the reading. It's if you don't know about that period of time,
sure,
you're learning it on the fly.
Yeah.
And then it's coming in with different things that you might know type thing. Like Eisenhower shows up for quite a bit of it. Fucking Nikita slamming his shoe shows up. Like, but then it also goes on different other things because it's also about like colonialism and about racism and about
it's a complex subject matter.
There's a lot to it, and about Americans wanting uranium and doing whatever they want so they can keep it and keep it off the hands of the Russians.
Of course,
because this is the start.
Yeah,
right. So Fidel shows up for a bit.
Naturally.
There's a little side quest basically with Fidel, and it's wild.
Nice.
It's just I say it's wild because it's just like I didn't know anything about this. I knew a little bit, but it was very eye opening, and just the things that they were able to include and stuff. And like Dave said, the Fidel part was funny, and even the parts with Khrushchev too.
Because they have like Khrushchev's memoirs, like him narrating. Those are incorporated into the movie.
It's a well researched.
It's beautifully researched. It's very much a visual essay. It's very much like a PhD level. Like this is what happened. These are all the events that kind of correspond.
I get it. Yeah,
and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I think I would probably watch it again in distinct 2 parts.
Yeah.
Because I watched a little bit of it and I was like, okay, this is too much. And then I went back to it and I was really in.
Yeah.
And then I was out. Then I got really back into it.
Yeah. So you almost need to put an intermission in there somewhere to make it make sense.
Yeah. Because you just need to like take it all in.
Yeah, give your brain a break. Exactly.
Or as like a separate like 2 parts.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Like if they were to put it on, like, I don't know, on TV or something. If
it was if HBO put it out, it would have been 2 parts.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because there's just so much.
Gotcha. Yeah,
it's deeply layered, and it got nominated for a reason. Like, it's very, very, very well made. Like, I respect the shit out of this movie. It's just there's a lot to it, and I think the word dense describes it very well.
I'm getting that feeling, but I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yes. So
Thank you for selling me on it.
You're very welcome. That one's in limited release right now.
Sweet.
And yeah, it'll be, I don't think it's a top contender, but it deserves to be there.
Sure.
Is nominated for Best Documentary. A film that got kind of shut out and definitely pissed off film Twitter to no end for the last few weeks is another film that's in limited release right now. It's Hard Truths.
Hard Truths.
Yes, which was a TIFF. Mike Leigh.
Yep.
Tony, tell me about Hard Truth.
Another simple premise. Basically, it's about a woman who is she's just mean. She's mean.
Is it Mike Leigh or Mike Lee?
I would say Mike Lee.
Is it an Leigh?
Yeah.
Lee.
Mike Lee.
Mike Lee. It's about a woman. She's very, very depressed. And she's just mean. And you're basically just on this journey with her and how her actions affect the people around her and how the people around her just want the best, what's best for her. She has it's like a day in the life kind of thing. Very, very simple movie. Tackling very, very harsh subject matters for sure. She has a very shitty relationship with her husband, her child. There's a very strained relationship, and then you have this like almost like tender relationship with her and her sister because her sister genuinely cares about her. I thought it was a pretty well done movie. Who's the main actress, Dave? You got it up.
Marianne Jean Baptiste.
Some of the things that comes out of this woman's mouth, holy shit! Like
she was nominated for an Oscar back in the day for Secrets and Lies.
Yeah, which is also a Mike Leigh movie.
Yes.
She's so incredible. Like, she is. I've never seen this actress before in a movie, but her performance was like wow. It sends you back because like you really feel it. Like, you're almost like you're not even seeing. It's one of those performances where you're not even seeing the person act. You're seeing a real person in front of you.
Yeah.
Dave, I really want to know what you thought about it.
She's so angry. I just want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
It's super. It's really funny in certain parts, like, but it's also super depressing
and very bleak.
Yeah,
it's super depressing, but yeah, it's very simplistic. I don't know how Mike Leigh wrote some of this because it doesn't.
Some of that has got to be ad-libbed a little
Some
bit.
of it has to be ad-libbed because the entire cast is of African descent. Yeah. So there's no way this old white man fucking wrote all of their scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it feels very lived in.
Yeah.
It feels very authentic.
Sure.
And real. To Tony's point, it doesn't feel like they're acting.
Yeah.
No, you're watching. You're almost. It's almost like a documentary. You're almost watching these real people in real time.
Yeah.
These things that are happening.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't love it like other people love it, but I do think it's very good, and I do think that it's disappointing she didn't get in.
Yeah.
Because she's very, very good.
Yeah.
And you feel for her even though she is fucking awful. And you just
the whole movie just really takes it out of you. Like I remember messaging Dave after I saw it, and I was like, man, I want to watch something funny.
Yeah,
I need
it kills everything inside
everything.
If we saw it at TIFF, we probably would have just stopped for the rest of the day.
Yeah, like, well,
I just would have gone home.
We probably go to bed now. Thank you very much.
We probably would not have continued that day because there's no way you could. This is like the mic drop. Like, you can't keep going after this.
Yeah,
like, you need to just take some time
to sit with it.
With it.
Yeah.
And I definitely enjoy it more since I've sat with it. But it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And kudos to her because she is incredible in this film. And like, film Twitter is pissed off for a reason. The sister is Michelle Austin, and she is also very, very good.
Neat.
I like the husband too.
David Weber playing Kurtley.
Yeah.
Strange name.
Very strange. Yeah. But interesting movie from this director. The only other movie I've seen from him is Naked.
I've always wanted to see that.
I saw that in film school, and the main actor, he's
David Thewlis.
Yeah. He has like a unbroken monologue in it that will just emotionally destroy you.
Wow.
He's a cleft asshole.
Yes, he does.
Oh God.
You know who we're talking about.
Yeah. I know exactly David Thewlis is Dave. Yeah. That guy with a cleft asshole?
Yeah, but check it. If you guys if you end up liking Hard Truths, definitely check out Naked too, because that one's a really good one. That's on Criterion. But yeah,
cool.
Hard Truths. There's a lot of hard truths in this movie. It's a very, very apt title for this film.
Yeah,
that's one to check out. If it's near you. And then Tony, coming to theaters on February 7th, likely in limited release again from our friends at Mubi, is Bring Them Down.
Bring Them Down, yes. This was a movie that I wanted to see at TIFF, but just didn't make it out.
Yep.
And after seeing it, I'm kind of glad that I missed it.
Oh, okay.
It stars Christopher Abbott and our boy Barry
Keoghan.
It's about a rival families, they're farmers, and a series of unfortunate events that happen.
So no centipede tattoo this time?
No centipede tattoo.
Throw it in the bin.
But he is a little shit weasel.
Well,
of course he is. Yeah. So he's always a little shit weasel.
What are we doing? Throw it in the bin.
Honestly, for the most part, it was just long. It was very long. Like you've seen.
Is it contemporary or is it like period?
It's contemporary. Like it's your traditional. Because it was set in Ireland. So it's your traditional Ireland movie where it's just them in the bush, like them in the countryside.
Sure,
they're in a house in the middle of a field. They're
wearing thick sweaters.
They're wearing thick sweaters. They're running sheep.
Yeah,
right.
Drinking Guinness,
drinking whiskey, yelling at their wives.
I'm not saying how this is different than the Banshees in Sharon, but that's fine.
That was a period piece.
That was period.
Okay, sorry.
Right?
Yes.
You guys, I've never seen the movie, but I can guarantee you it'll remind you guys of that movie that you saw in 2019, Calm with Horses.
Oh my God.
That would probably remind you of that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Tony, I locked that away in my brain.
I know.
I don't think of that either.
I want to.
No.
Jesus.
No, you don't.
You can survive without it.
You'll be fine.
It's been 6 years, Tony.
Yeah,
you can make it another 6.
Right. It's a beautiful movie. It's beautiful cinematography. It reminded me of a lot of another random Ireland movie that I saw at TIFF called Wildfire. Actually, I know.
Is that just the theme? We just watched a random Irish movie.
Random Irish movie. Honestly, like the movie just reminded me of these random ass movies. Wildfire, and the lead actress of Wildfire is actually in this movie too. That's why I pulled it.
This goes in random Irish cinema,
right? That's literally what it was. But it's just so long, and it takes so long to get to where it needs to go. And when it needs to go, it's literally 10 minutes from the end. And I was like, really? That's the climax? 10 minutes from the fucking end, man?
Yeah.
And you leave me on the most ambiguous fucking ending ever. It is silly.
Yeah.
Does Abbott do an accent?
Abbott does do an accent. He talks in another language, too. I'm fairly certain they were speaking Gaelic at one point.
That makes sense.
Probably.
Because the father, he's a typical Irish actor. He's that guy.
Okay. I'll believe
someone can get it for me. He speaks in Gaelic, and so those parts with him are in a different language, and everyone else is talking like fucking.
Sure,
I love when they say that.
They did say fucking.
Hey, you know what, Tony?
Fucking.
You want to know a fun fact about Calm with Horses? Since you unlocked that memory in my head,
of course, I love it.
You can watch it on Tubi.
Fuck yes, Tubi.
Is it Cole Meany?
What's he look like?
It's what you think he looks like.
Is it Cole Meany? That's exactly who it is.
Yeah. How do you not know who Cole Meany is?
I'm sorry, I don't know Cole Meany. Sorry, friend of the podcast, Cole Meany.
If fucking Cole Meany's the friend of the podcast, I would love that.
You guys need to chill the fuck out.
I would fucking I will.
Yeah.
Colm, if you're out there and you're listening, we'd love for you to be on the podcast.
Please.
We're just 2-3 random Canadians.
No, I'm not here anymore. It's fine.
What do you mean you're not here? You knew who Cole Meany was. This motherfucker doesn't know.
That's literally why I'm saying out of the band. No, that's why I'm saying too, because you guys are gushing over fucking Cole Meany.
Look, only friends with Dale Dickey understand.
Oh, fuck off. All right. He's
never going to forgive us for that.
Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
No, we know you do.
Whatever, guy.
I'm over it.
Anyways, he still cries at night about it.
I most certainly do not cry. Okay. Anyways,
I see the tears welling up in your eyes now.
See it? No, see it.
I saw it. You don't have to.
Right.
It's fine. It'll be on movie.
Watch Calm with Horses instead.
Watch Calm with Horses. You know what? If you want to watch a random fucking movie, watch Wildfire. That movie is it hits all the feels.
Why don't we just get people to watch Bird?
Oh yeah.
Or you could do that.
Yeah.
Or watch anything else on movie. The deer with no, not the deer. Jesus fuck, Tony. The girl with the needle just came out on movie.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Yeah.
The Substance. It's on movie too. Watch that. Queer.
Movie knocking it out of the park.
Queer's on movie too. Fucking watch that. I've literally listed off 3 movies. Dave listed off Bird. That's 4.
You got your movies. You got your tubies. You got your gazoobies.
Super Bowl's going to be on Tubi this year. I can't fucking wait.
That's wild.
Tubi.
That's wild.
That's
shit,
wild.
Man.
I need to tell everybody again, if you do watch Girl with the Needle, that's another one where you'll just need to just
sit with it after.
Sit with yourself for a bit. Take a shower. Hug yourself. Don't watch anything else. Don't watch it. Yeah. Scream into the void.
Yeah,
excellent picture. Never watching it again.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, is that the end of Screener Time?
Yes. That is the end of Screener Time. We made it, folks.
We made it.
Before we hit the main event, I can see James is annoyed, but I just want to do a quick plug that Tony and I spoke with Lowell Dean on Dark Match, which comes out this Friday in select theaters.
Yeah.
As well as Suki and Lee, who wrote and directed Paying for It,
yeah.
Which is playing at the Scotiabank Toronto this Friday, or starting this Friday, and then it's going to go to other cities over the next few weeks. And it's also one of Canada's top 10 at TIFF.
Nice.
Both films worth watching. We spoke to both of them. Those interviews are up now, and if you haven't listened to them yet, why not?
And they're great interviews. Well done, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for continually carrying the torch on their interviews, because I can't usually make them during the work days
because you're bringing home the bacon.
Someone's got to keep this podcast afloat monetarily, and it looks like it's all falling to Jimmy. And that's fine, because you get to... Hopefully this will give Tony an opportunity to make a new best friend.
Yeah.
I already did. Lowell Dean, man.
All right, yeah, you got Lowell Dean. That's fine. That's for you anyway. I don't care. You can be friends with Lowell Dean.
Buddy, I got to gush over Wolf Cop, and it was dope.
I'm not mad about you being friends with Lowell Dean. I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep at night. I'm okay.
It's true. If you
he seems like a nice guy, though.
He's pretty dope.
If you are fans of Wolf Cop, we definitely get to talk about Wolf Cop.
Yeah, I did enjoy listening to that part. That was great.
There was a moment in the interview where me and Dave were on Zoom together, and he's like, "Okay, I'll see you in there." And I was like, "Okay, I'll see you in there." And we went in, and Dave was not there, and I was like,
Tony panicked.
No, I did. I panicked, but when I panicked, and I was just like, I just wanted to say, since there's a moment here, I just wanted to let you know I really loved Wolf Cop. And he was like, "Oh, thank you." And we started talking about Wolf Cop, and I was like, "Thank God!" And I was like, "Where the fuck is Dave?"
Dave did that to me once too.
Yeah,
my son was home from school that day, and he needed his tushy wiped because he went to the bathroom.
It happens.
It happens. We forgave him.
Anyway.
But yes, if you haven't listened to those, listen to those.
Please.
And without further ado, Mr. Jimmy, let's get to the main event.
Oh, my God.
Which is Mel Gibson's.
Is it? The ads will make you believe otherwise.
The movie will also make you believe otherwise.
Flight Risk.
Yes. Mel Gibson's sprawling epic Flight Risk.
starring everybody's favorite Marky Mark.
Yes.
Mark Wahlberg.
Topher Grace.
Topher fucking Grace. And then a bunch of people on a telephone, and we're missing the one other actor that's actually on screen.
The one important act, the lead of the picture.
Yes.
Michelle Dockery.
Thank you. So Michelle Dockery, Mark Wahlberg, Topher Grace, they're in a plane, and there's the movie. I'm done explaining.
Topher Grace is a he's
Topher
an accountant.
Grace is not a fugitive.
He's a mob accountant who they're going to get to turn.
Yep. The government is after him to try to get him to flip as a witness. He is off the grid. He's trying to hide from the cops. He's not necessarily a fugitive. He just knows he will be caught at some point. So he goes off grid in Alaska.
So if he's not a fugitive, why was he handcuffed?
Well, no. So
because he was a flight risk.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Right.
Also, a fugitive implies that he was caught and then he escaped and now is on the run.
Technically,
he was never caught first.
Well, technically, he was on the run, so
he was on the lam.
Semantics.
Yeah.
The U.S. Marshal is bringing him. They caught him. He's going to turn. They need to bring him in so he can do his deposition. So she is flying him because they're in like the fucking...
They're in buttfuck nowhere, Alaska.
Buttfucked Alaska. They have to go on this little rinky-dink fucking plane
to Anchorage.
So that they can fly to go to New York.
But
so the pilot comes in and everything's fine.
Mark, and everyone's great and happy.
And then we find out that Marky Mark's actually a hitman.
Yes.
Who also poses as a flight risk.
Oh my god, with the flight risks, Tony. Are we going to say she was also a flight risk?
If anyone just heard that high five, Tony high fived himself. Nobody
there are no fives. There are no fives.
I am dying here with Jesus Christ. Okay.
There were no fives.
Wrap it around one more time.
Yeah.
So the rest of the film is them trying to get to Anchorage.
Yeah, so them
also trying to stay alive.
What's happening, trying to stay alive, and then trying to figure out where they are.
Yes,
because they don't know where they are.
No,
and so the rest of the menagerie of characters take place by phone call. Thank Christ she had a satellite phone and not literally anything else.
It was like phone booth on a plane, basically.
Essentially. And Marky Mark is there spitting out the most ridiculous lines I've ever heard.
With the most ridiculous accent.
Yeah. They don't land. They're not funny. No. But he's just saying shit.
A lot of jokes about rape and sexual assault.
A lot. A little bit. A lot. And then you find out that the original pilot was dismembered in many ways. And it's like, what did that pilot do?
There's a lot of information. There's a lot of just like we need to set the table.
Sure.
He gets caught in the opening minutes.
Yes. Like immediately. Like you are on that plane within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then they're on the plane and then they're on the plane for almost the rest of the entire movie.
The plane, actually, the flight is almost a 1-to-1. Like it is almost real time.
Yeah.
For how long that flight should be. It's a 90-minute flight. It's a 90-minute movie. Well, it's not a 90-minute flight. It's like a 75-ish minute flight.
It's
real time.
It's basically real time.
Yeah. Which is also weird because like so much is like being said and shit, but like the plane's just cruising along.
There's a lot of moments where it's just on autopilot.
Like that's all that's happening.
I love the guy when shit hits the fan, she needs like help to fly the plane.
Yeah,
and then they get the pilot assistant. And he's like weirdly like coming onto her at the same time.
Was it Hassan?
Hassan, yeah. I'll get his name.
Yeah. He's great, by the
way. Mazali. He's fun.
He's so fun.
He's great on the like him as a voice. He's
like the first time he comes on, he starts talking. After he was finished, I was like, "What the fuck?"
So
and then it happened again. I was like, "Oh, I see where he's going with this."
I gotta give it. So okay, I need to talk about. My overall opinion of this movie is fucking dog shit. I'm gonna put that out there right now. But, and I'm putting a huge but on this. So I went I was driving back from Toronto, and I was like, you know what, I got to squeeze in this movie. And I was debating whether I was going to go on a Sunday just at like Ancaster or something. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's early enough. I'm going to stop at Cineplex at Winston Churchill in the QEW.
Oh, nice.
And go see this thing because like it was there. The timing worked out for like literally when I got to the theater, it was like 10 minutes to showtime. I bought my ticket in the car and like just walked in, grabbed myself a drink, sat down, and basically was like ready to go. But when I bought the ticket, even 10 minutes before the show started, I was kind of sitting by myself over here, and there was maybe like 4 or 5 other folks, maybe 6 other folks that had bought tickets. By the time that movie started, there was like 20 of us in there. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. But they were all like late teenagers. Like they were like 17, 18, maybe 19-year-olds.
Well, that's what this movie was, who this movie was made for.
So we're sitting there, and Hassan, when he starts randomly flirting with her while he's trying to help her fly this plane, he's like, well,
asking her out to dinner.
We'll go out to dinner and stuff. He says one corny line, and this guy's like 2 rows behind me. Like throughout this movie, up until this point, no one has said a peep. It has been dead silent because none of the jokes are working because this movie is dog shit. And he says this corniest line, and this guy 2 rows behind me just goes, "Ha!" And the entire theater started laughing, and I was like, "Oh my god, they made it for this guy! I got a live studio ostrich with me. This is the best thing ever!"
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
We finished the movie, and the same guy that said that, we all stood up, and I overhear he was like, "Well, that was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen," and I was like, "Yeah, man, hell yeah!"
I had a similar thing happened to me too after it was over, but we'll get there when we're wrapping it up.
How many people were yours?
10 people.
I went on a Tuesday.
To be perfectly honest with you, a couple came 20 minutes into the movie and like was trying to find their seat. And I was like, bro, like, why are you even here?
Other way around.
Yeah.
3 girls who were maybe 16 years old and were on pajamas came into this movie.
Yeah.
The movie started within 5 minutes. They got up and left.
Yeah,
I was like, yep, that's it. This movie is not for you.
Also, when I bought my fucking ticket, I bought it in the car, and I purposely bought it like three from the aisle.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be on the aisle, but I wanted to be near the aisle, knowing that the next person who was sitting to me was at least like 9 or 10 seats away from me.
Yeah. Who sat right beside you?
Honest to goodness, I came up the stairs and the guy was literally sitting 2 seats away from mine. And I was like, bro, I know you did not get that seat. Fuck you. Yeah. And I was like in the stairs and I literally like checked the seats to see if anyone bought it. And I just went up. And then he like turned around and I was just like, yeah, motherfucker, you're near my seat.
Yeah.
That's thing's going to come full circle.
All right.
Watch.
Anyway.
I saw it on a Tuesday afternoon when it was $5 Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was bumping.
Yeah, because it's $5.
Yeah, but it was in the afternoon on a Tuesday. There were so many people there.
Yeah,
so many. Like I had nobody near me when because I went on the side, but the entire middle section basically full.
Yeah.
And it was all sorts of people, all sorts of demographics.
Yeah,
but mostly older couples.
Yeah,
who I assume came because they either like Marky Mark or they like Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I'm assuming that that's probably the case. But also for what I kind of said at the beginning too, like this movie's marketing really hid the fact that Mel Gibson was the director of this movie.
Don't know why you like.
It's so weird.
Especially when it cuts to black for the credits and immediately it's like directed by Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
It's like you wanted to hide it so much, but the first thing you show is that it was directed by Mel Gibson.
And it's funny that you guys say that because the entire movie I'm watching it and I'm just like, this was directed by Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
This has literally nothing of his.
Oh no, because it's like the most restrained version because like he backed himself into a corner with this. Like, it's a movie that takes place on a plane. Like, what the fuck else would you have done? Like, it's such a small plane. It's such a small story that,
and
like,
it's
a weird choice.
So simplistic, but like, you're looking at this guy. Then his movies are all very prolific. Like, you go Braveheart, and then Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ. You're going to get Resurrection of the Christ soon, and they all follow a certain.
It's Passion of the Christ 2. Crucify this. We know
it's actually called Passion of the Christ: The Resurrection.
The Resurrection,
which
Let's crucify this.
I just don't understand the main demographic of people who are going to go see that movie know that it's the sequel. You just call it the Resurrection of the Christ. That's all you need. You're not bringing in other people. Nobody else wants to see this movie.
It's going to do gangbusters at the box office.
Yeah, but it's a very targeted demo.
What am I going to do? I want my torture porn. He's saying he can't do torture porn in the Resurrection. He's just coming back. Thomas, what? He's going to like really graphically finger his fucking holes? Like,
Jesus Christ, man.
What about The Man Without a Face?
And The Man Without a...
And Hacksaw Ridge.
I was getting there.
Let's not forget about Hacksaw Ridge.
But like he's used to like making these epics.
Yep.
Right? Like all of them epics. Like you got big battle sequences.
Well, The Man Without a Face is that.
Well, like Man Without a Face is more taken aback. He wasn't. I wouldn't even count that because like he was just getting his steps. Right. It's not until Braveheart, I would say, where he fully becomes like that director.
Yeah.
But even Hacksaw Ridge didn't seem like a Mel Gibson movie, but it still had some of his isms in there. So it still had his style and big moments kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing. There's nothing of his in there.
No.
Dave, would you like? There's absolutely nothing.
I assume it's his style of humor.
I guess, but is it? Did he only write jokes for himself? Like, what is happening?
I don't know. The humor is bad.
Topher Grace is saying shit, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
I think I laughed like once.
I only laughed because fucking Chuckles behind me made.
No, I had a chortle at one point. I don't know what it was, but it was near the end. I
was just laughing so hard at anything that came out of Marky Mark's mouth. I like that Mark Wahlberg has like kind of like adapted this like chameleon kind of acting, because like when you look at all his movies, like he's doing something different. Obviously he has better movies than some, right? Like but you get he can be cheese, and then he can go and give you an Academy Award nominee performance. Like you see him in The Fighter and you're like, holy shit, he's really good. You see him in The Departed and it's just like, holy fuck, like he's really good. And then you see him in The Big Hit and he's a cheeseball, and you see him in Flight Risk and he's a cheeseball, and then you see him in Rockstar, he's playing a fucking like
he's got range.
He's got rage, and like
let's not go that far,
right? Sure. And then you see him in Ted, where he's playing a lovable jackass. Yeah. Like he has range, and he has that ability.
Let's still not go that far.
He still has that ability to play different characters.
Yeah,
and at least Marky Mark is the one who's having all the fun.
Look, for a movie that's taking place on a plane in the wilderness, almost literally nothing happens.
Yeah, and it was so incredibly boring too.
It was boring as and you know, again, deciding that this entire thing is going to be basically a real-time flight from buttfuck nowhere, Alaska to Anchorage was probably the wrong choice. Because nothing fucking happens.
There's a couple of exciting moments.
Okay, and then nothing.
There's
exciting moment, and then 20 minutes.
There's a moment.
Exciting moment, 20 minutes of nothing.
There is a moment where that plane is in a nosedive into the mountains, and it should have crashed about 68 times because it's just like it's constantly in a nosedive. I'm like, you were not that high above the ground, and you are constantly plummeting towards.
Well, they already said how high up they are.
Exactly,
they're 3,000
feet, and
how fast
they're
do you
in a
think you can
free
hit the
fall.
ground?
They're in a fucking free fall for like 2 minutes. I'm like, you're dead and buried. You're not anything anymore.
You're ash at this point.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we
buried
even
under
doing?
an avalanche?
And there's that whole random scene where they try to make it really exciting that he can see through binoculars to read the fucking name of a boat.
How many capsized crashed boats are there on the coast?
No. You need to tell me the
specific name.
The specific Alaskan boat name that you're seeing in front of you. And also try to read it at 1,000 feet where you're cruising and there's a propeller in front of you, so you're trying to read through the propeller. It's fine. You can do it. You can totally do it.
You forgot about the blood stain on the
Oh, yeah. And the fact by that point, oh, no, I guess he's not by then. I will say, though, that the one thing that was like, oh, Jesus, was towards the end when Marky Mark's character is trying to escape again from the chair and he's getting out of handcuffs. That was fucking gnarly. Like,
have you not seen what's the Stephen King movie that they do that in?
Oh, Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game. Have you seen Gerald's Game? Because that when I was watching, I was like, oh, weak sauce. It's not as graphic as Gerald's Game, but it's no. I was like, they put it. All the R rating is right in this moment.
Yeah. And then he dies like a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
He just falls out of the plane.
Just throw that in there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want anyone to go see this anyway.
I don't care.
Spoiler alert
he dies at the
anyone.
end.
Here's my thing. Okay, continue.
Wait,
I'll let you have it first.
Because, and it's just my last sort of like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? I'm not giving anything else away on this, but there is a shot where it is just kind of looking out and people just keep coming into the frame. It's right at the end of the movie, and it's just like one person pops in, and then another person pops in, and then another person pops in, and then another person pops in, and then another. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? What is this?
One more what the fuck that I had. It's at the end, spoiler alert. When everything's like kind of like happening and stuff, I literally visibly said out loud in the theater, I was like, why is there no police presence? Like, there's only ambulances and fire trucks. Where the fuck are the police?
Yeah.
And then like one guy shows up and I'm just like, really? One like this one guy. This was a big fucking incident that was like all over the fucking radio and one guy?
There's a lot of stupid shit in this movie. A lot of stupid shit. And the CGI is not awful. It's not good, but it's not awful. Except for the moose at the beginning of the movie where you're like, you couldn't just bring in a moose?
No, absolutely not.
It looks like shit. Okay. So I didn't hate this movie.
Excuse me?
Just go play in traffic, please.
Jesus. I didn't say I liked it. I said I didn't hate it. I think it is a 90s style thriller.
Yep.
And I love how self-contained it is. I do like that it doesn't take any time to get them on the plane.
Oh, sure.
I admire that.
Sure.
I like that. I like some of the close quarters stuff. My problem is your hero, Michelle Dockery. She's too stone-faced. Yeah, she doesn't have. She's not able to emote properly.
We've talked about Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace.
Fuck Topher Grace. Topher Grace is so goddamn annoying in that movie.
But he's another guy who's having the time of his life.
He needs to shut the fuck up.
I don't disagree, but both of them have delivered a performance, for good or bad, that is noteworthy and something to talk about. Her performance is just so flat. I'm just like, oh, fuck.
She's so monotone in it.
I think you guys would have liked the movie more if she gave you something, but she doesn't give you anything. And even her when she gets her one-liners, you're just like,
fucking cares.
Well, that was lame.
Yeah.
Like, she seems like she's more than a capable actress, and good for her leading this movie, but like, she's got nothing.
Yeah.
There's no charisma.
No. She got no riz.
There's no riz.
Yeah. No riz.
And when you're trying to find out about her like backstory, which they kind of shoehorn it into it, and kudos to them not having to show it or have sound effects for it, because other movies would have either shown it or you would have heard the sound effects. It's just like, you're like, okay, but I still don't really care. I don't care. And like, it takes too long. Like, there's like a little too long between the second act and the third act.
Sure.
Where I'm like, if you kind of trim this up a bit and kind of sped it up, I think there could have been more to it. But there's just so many stupid things that happen and just like no one to really care about. Because I was thinking of fucking, oh God. I was thinking of Leo Getz, Joe Pesci, in like that kind of role as Topher Grace. But like, he has some sort of, there's like a charm, a quality where you're like, I want to see him survive. I want to root for him. I was not rooting for Topher Grace. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
The only thing they tried to do with Topher Grace was give him a mom.
And who the fuck cares?
I don't fucking care. Yeah, I don't care about any of it, and Dave,
just too many rape jokes.
Yes.
Too many rape jokes.
You can throw yourself out of a plane underneath a fire truck for even halfway liking this movie.
I didn't say I halfway liked it. I never said anything about liking it. I just said I didn't hate it.
He appreciates it.
I never said that either. I just said I didn't hate it.
Here's the qualifier. Will Dave buy the disc?
Oh, buddy, did you see that?
That steelbook's dope. Yeah. That steelbook is dope.
Dave's buying the disc. He didn't hate it. It's going on the shelf.
That fucking that bad hairpiece though, the bald cap, whatever the fuck he's wearing.
Yeah,
it's just there's so many things where I'm like, the bones are fine.
Sure,
the bones are fine. It's shot fine.
Yeah.
It's not fancy. It's just very mechanical and fine.
Yeah.
And as like a 90s throwback, like it would have killed in the 90s and we would have had like a prequel or a sequel where fucking Marky Mark came back.
Sure.
Somehow Marky Mark has returned. And just some of the dialogue is shit.
Yeah.
Is shit. And I just can't get over how bad Michelle Dockery is in this movie. Shit. Yeah. I just can't believe how bad she is and how you just don't care. Yeah. And I was just like kind of near the end. I was just like
fucking over this.
I'm kind of over this. And like, it says a lot that I love this Hassan guy who's just kind of being like a charming little weaselly character. Yeah. Who's
a helpful pilot.
A helpful dweeby pilot whose come-ons are slightly charming and not as but I guess it's not also because aggressive Marky Mark
is aggressive rape and Topher's nonsense.
Just like every other,
this is a pleasant voice.
Like every other word out of his mouth is about rape.
Yeah. Or dismembering someone. I don't know.
And just like,
I still want to know what the fuck did the original pilot do to this man that he dismembered him? And he couldn't just kill him and take his place. He had to dismember the guy.
And it's not even him making all the rape. She makes rape jokes too.
Yeah, it's all
just like you're gonna have to look over your shoulder in prison. He's like, "What makes you think I didn't have to already?" And it's just like, and he's like, "Oh, you know what I mean there, don't you, Winnie?" And it's like, why? Okay, so he's sexually ambiguous. All right. Yeah. Cool.
I just couldn't believe some of the things that came out of their mouths. I'm just like, honest to goodness.
I don't know, man.
So,
I don't know.
And it definitely could have been a PG-13 movie if they didn't swear so much.
Of course.
Or make so many rape jokes.
At the
end of the movie, the guy who is in front of me stands up and he just kind of looks at me and he's just like just kind of like scoffs at me, and I just like gave him a nod and I was just like, me too. Yeah, old man, I wanted my money back too, man.
Yeah, the guy behind me seemed to enjoy it. He was doing Tony Baldwin. He was really in for a bit.
Honestly,
did you know this movie's in 40X?
I did.
I saw an AVX.
Oh God, Tony, you paid premium money for this?
Actually, scene points, and I only paid $10. So technically, I'm paying my scene club price.
Well, okay.
I only paid $5.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I paid 10.
There were people in the D-box seats too. I was like, really?
I kept hearing
D-box. Get the fuck out of here!
Literally, that fucking couple that came in 20 minutes, they were in the D-box seats. I was like, what the fuck?
for all those magical D-box moments.
One of my coworkers was just like, "Hey Tony, I'm going to see Flight Risk."
Wait a second. Flight Risk takes place mainly inside the cabin of a plane. So minus that one freefall moment, what the fuck else is the 40X doing?
I assume it'd be moving the whole time.
That's it. Just kind of like gently listing around, like you're just kind of.
And then jerking you around. I'm sure the ending. I'm sure the ending would have been worse than in 40X.
Sure, but I'm just like so little shots take place outside of the plane. Like, what fucking effects are you putting in here? You're inside a plane. It's not like you can put like snow or cold. Like, you're in a plane. Like,
one of my coworkers was like, "Tony, I'm going to see Flight Risk. Should I see it in 40X?" I was like, "For the love of God, who are you?" No. Well, first of all, why the fuck are you going to see Flight Risk?
Go see it in ScreenX. Get that wide vision.
Like, aren't you going to see it? I was like, yeah, but I have a reason. You just don't want to see anything else.
Yeah.
The trailer was fun, The movie is not.
The movie's not.
Yeah.
Not.
It's a big no from me.
I don't think it's like some people are saying it's the worst movie of the year already. It's like, well, yeah.
The year is young.
The year is young.
It's a real high bar right now.
The year is young, and I don't think it's that people are gonna remember this movie by the end of the year.
Yeah,
we'll remember.
But well, yeah, we will.
It's going on the list, Tony.
We will. But yeah, there's so many things that it could have done better.
Yeah.
And I just don't know why it didn't do them better.
Great question. No answer for you. It's I think that's I don't even think we have to go around here. I already know Tony's answer, and I think everybody knows mine. Well, actually, you know what? No, I don't know. Dave doesn't hate it, so maybe he does recommend going to see this on a cheap Tuesday.
I would not recommend it.
Yeah, okay. Good. This is a fucking hard. No, I'm not even recommending this on VOD. Fuck this movie.
All I was saying was that a lot of people hate this movie and are hating on it, and I didn't hate it.
Dave's in the minority.
I didn't like it at all. Yeah. I think it's a bad movie, and I think it's his worst movie that he's ever made.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah. And Topher Grace needs to stop acting.
Stop.
And Marky Mark, like, cool. Better. Just do better. Just do better.
We know you can do better, so do better.
I'm very curious to see if we see more of Mel Gibson, because Mel Gibson was just appointed as Hollywood ambassador to that ogre monster that's in office in the States.
Oh, great.
And your good buddy John
Voight.
Fucking Christ. Mel Gibson and John.
Who's the other guy?
Stallone.
Oh, it's the rest of Stallone.
John fucking Voight and fucking Sly are the ambassadors to the orange Cheeto in the White House.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
I thought we could keep Sly.
Yeah. No.
I guess we can.
You can't. His brain has been punched so much that he believes everything now.
I was kind of upset by that. He's gone down significantly in my books, and I fucking adored that man. But anyways,
you want to see this boner John fucking Voight.
Yeah. But I'm curious. I'm curious. To
of course, it's John Voight.
Of course, I'm not surprised. It couldn't have been anyone else.
This isn't the voice of surprise.
Yeah,
of course, it's John
Voight.
But I'm curious to see if we're going to see more Mel. I'm curious.
Well, he's got to get Passion of the Christ. He's got Passion of the Christ. This out.
Well, yeah, obviously.
How many times can you say it?
All the time.
I mean, he's like shown up in a lot of B movies over the last couple of years. Like
B movies,
like CD. There was the Panama Nature Calls.
Like Panama was
H
a movie.
movies.
Yeah. Direct to VOD, Steven Seagal levels of schlock.
No, it's worse.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I saw one of them. I saw whatever the hurricane one.
Yeah, Nature Calls, I think.
I don't think it's called Nature Calls or like Nature Falls or something.
Force of Nature.
Force of Nature.
Emil Hirsch is in that.
Emil Hirsch is in it.
No.
It's bad.
Oh, no.
I only want to see Panama because Cole Hauser's in it.
Sure. I saw Panama.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
What about Fat Man?
Oh, Fat Man's decent. That one's the Christmas movie with Walton Goggins. That one's good.
Oh, I do love my Walton Goggins.
Yeah,
that's true.
What about Get the Gringo?
I saw that.
Yeah, Get the Gringo was all right. Bloodfather was another one that was really good.
I love that we're just throwing words out.
Yeah, this needs to stop. Words, I'm done talking about Mel Gibson.
All right. What was the one he did? It's not Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Darkness? Is that
Edge
what
of
it's
Darkness,
called?
Yeah, Mark
That
Hamill.
is actually good.
Huh.
That is good. That was just before they found out about him saying
anti-Semitic.
Not the anti-Semitism.
The blatant anti-Semitism?
No, not that. I was actually going to say, this is how I know it. It is his humor because he said that he sent that message to his wife about getting raped.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming full circle.
He's a piece of shit all the way down. I got you.
By a pack of,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe it is his humor. All rape jokes were his humor.
So we know now the top 10 list. If the Orange Cheeto puts out a top 10 movies of the year for himself, Flight Risk is going.
Flight Risk is on
one.
there. Yeah,
definitely.
Got to keep Mel happy.
Yep. Fucking ochre monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
fuck this fucking movie.
And fuck John Voight.
And fuck John Voight.
And on that note,
anything else?
Do we have anything else to add to this?
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. Let's put a little pin.
Let's just leave it with these lovely sentiments for our viewers,
or listeners.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no fans of Jon Voight are listening.
I don't care if they are.
I'm pretty sure we would have gotten some hate mail about Jon Voight by this point, Tony.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's carrying the torch for Jon Voight, Tone.
Awesome.
Maybe you are.
Most definitely not. But James,
we are the originators of the Fuck Jon Voight podcast.
We really are. I was about to say, check out this boner.
Christ. Remember when Dave sent us a thing like with the fucking collector's happy handjob edition of Megalopolis, and you and I both were like, no,
just no. No,
I want to watch it again.
I do want to watch it again. That scene runs like rent free in my head.
It's gonna forever.
With that fucking line that Shia says.
Which one?
It's your pussy.
Oh,
yeah.
That's your pussy.
That's your pussy. Yeah, Shia.
Yep.
Is it the first time you're seeing a vagina?
Oh my God.
Yep.
Good times.
Anyway.
I'm so happy we saw that movie at TIFF.
Yep.
My God.
And that James saw it after.
My God. I can't believe I saw it after.
I'm proud of you.
And at the Playhouse.
I'm proud of you.
Wild times. Anyway, we will be back with you. We'll probably have some more interviews coming up, and we're going to have some more regular episodes coming up, and we're just looking excited. Plus, the Oscars are coming soon, so
yes.
you know we're going to get an Oscars episode going.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. Until then, I'm still Jimmy, and I'm here as always with
Big T Tony B.
Yeah, and
Dave.
Excellent. We'll catch you next time.